A day ago, Ukraine marked its Independence Day under bombs, and today it has seemingly lost more territory to Russian forces as it claims new advances. The war in Ukraine is showing no signs of easing as of now, despite the US-led efforts to find peace. Sure, there is talk of peace, but on the battlefield, the moves continue. On Monday, Russia said that its forces had captured another village called Zaporizhzhye, located in Ukraine's Dnipropetrovsk region. It's an important industrial hub that has until recently been spared from this heaviest fighting of the war. Ukraine, of course, denies the Russian forces have gained any foothold there. But in the last 24 hours, Russia, on the other hand, claiming strikes on a Ukrainian missile depot, drone factories and troop positions. In fact, the Russian Defense Ministry has said that its air defense units also destroyed 3 HIMARS rockets and more than 170 Ukrainian drones in one day. Ukraine has said that it countered the Russian onslaught as its troops fought 85 clashes along the front lines on Sunday. They noted that the fiercest battles continue near Pokrovsk. More importantly, in recent times, Ukraine has also more frequently carried out bold attacks on Russia's energy infrastructure. Its forces claim to have hit a Russian oil refinery in Samara and set fire to a dock at a port on the Baltic Sea. It is Russia's second largest port. This even after the US has reportedly blocked Ukraine from firing long-range missiles into Russian territory for several months. According to new reports, Zelensky has responded to the reports, saying Ukraine has recently been using its own weapons and not consulting Washington over its strikes. And what's more, both sides have unleashed waves of drones at each other. Just today, Ukraine saying Russia launched over 100 drones, killing a 37-year-old civilian driver in Sumy. Meanwhile, Moscow says Kyiv sent 24 drones deep into western Russia. Drone attacks even reached the Kursk nuclear power plant in western Russia, sparking a massive fire. Authorities insist there were no casualties and no radiation risk. And as both sides drop deadly weapons at each other, the president of Ukraine has taken the opportunity to renew his call for a summit with the Russian President Vladimir Putin, insisting that the format of talks between the leaders is the most effective way forward. And this is an interesting and crucial development because, remember, it was Zelensky himself who had signed a decree banning talks with Russia. And now this new plea also comes as Ukraine and Russia exchanged 146 prisoners each, including 2 Ukrainian journalists. On Monday, he announced Ukraine aims to secure at least $1 billion a month from allies to buy US weapons through NATO's Prioritized Ukraine Requirements List, PURL program. And as more and more European countries promise more weapons for Ukraine, Russia is setting down its own red lines. The Russian foreign minister has said that Ukraine must remain neutral, non-aligned, and outside NATO. And these have been Russia's non-negotiables as far as ending the war with Ukraine is concerned. Lavrov also said that group of guarantors, possibly the permanent members of the UN Security Council, along with Germany and Turkey, should oversee Ukraine's security. Lavrov recalled the failed Istanbul talks of 2022, when neutrality was offered in exchange for guarantees from major powers. And he was blunt, by the way, that protection for Russian speakers must be included. And there are still territorial discussions to be had.
As regards the security guarantees for Ukraine, those principles proposed by Ukrainian delegation, I underline this once again, they provided for creation of a group of guarantors. This group containing of permanent members of the Security Council, Russia, US, China, UK and France, plus they mentioned Germany, Turkey and any other country which would be interested to join this group of guarantors. And guarantors would be guaranteeing the security of Ukraine, which must be neutral, which must be non-aligned with any military bloc, and which must be non-nuclear.
Despite Russia's firm stand, Ukraine is not about to cave in. Speaking at the ceremony marking the anniversary of Ukraine's independence, Zelensky said, and I'm quoting, "Ukraine has not yet fully won, but it will certainly not lose. Ukraine is not a victim, it is a fighter," quote unquote. European leaders, meanwhile, have echoed their support. Norway pledged $700 million towards supplying 2 US-made Patriot air defense systems together with Germany. Prioritized Ukraine requirements list. Yet the reality on the ground is unchanged. Russia now controls about 1/5 of Ukraine, including Crimea, and continues to reject Western calls for a ceasefire. The war has already claimed tens of thousands of lives, displaced millions, left cities in ruins. We'll have to wait and watch for where things are headed from here onwards. One day, Ukraine celebrates its independence. The next, it buries more victims of war. How long will it really take for dialogue to silence those guns? To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.